The teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti are often admired for their depth and clarity, yet many readers and listeners come away with a persistent impression. They feel profoundly insightful, but difficult to apply in everyday life. This tension between intellectual brilliance and practical usability forms one of the central challenges in engaging with his work. Krishnamurti's approach is marked by a radical simplicity. He rejects all systems, methods, and step-by-step practices. There is no prescribed path, no technique to follow, and no authority to rely upon. Instead, he calls for direct observation of thought, emotion, and behavior without interference. At first glance, this appears liberating. However, for many people, it quickly becomes disorienting. Without structure, the question naturally arises: what does one actually do? This is where his ideas can begin to feel intellectual. His language is precise but abstract, often pointing to subtle psychological movements that are not easily grasped in real time. Statements such as the dissolution of the observer or the ending of psychological time carry philosophical weight but offer little in the way of concrete guidance. As a result, individuals may understand his ideas conceptually while struggling to translate them into lived experience. The difficulty is compounded by the nature of the task he sets. To observe thought without controlling it, to experience emotion without identification, and to remain attentive without motive requires a level of awareness that is not easily sustained. In the absence of a method, people may find themselves attempting to practice non-practice, which can lead to confusion or contradiction. The mind, accustomed to direction and progress, may either revert to habitual patterns or create its own improvised structure, often missing the essence of what is being suggested. Another factor contributing to this sense of impracticality is the immediacy of his demand. Krishnamurti does not advocate gradual change. He speaks of instant insight, of seeing something so clearly that transformation occurs at once. While this idea is compelling, it can also feel unrealistic. Most human change appears incremental, shaped by repetition and effort. When confronted with the expectation of sudden transformation, individuals may feel inadequate or unsure of how to proceed. There is also the challenge of integration into ordinary life. Daily living involves responsibilities, relationships, and decisions that require thought, planning, and emotional engagement. Krishnamurti's emphasis on choiceless awareness can seem difficult to reconcile with these demands. People may wonder whether constant observation is compatible with action, or whether it leads to passivity. Without clear examples of how this awareness functions in practical situations, the teaching can remain abstract. Furthermore, the absence of external support structures places the entire responsibility on the individual. There are no rituals, communities, or shared practices to reinforce understanding. This can make the process isolating. Without feedback or guidance, it is easy to misinterpret key ideas, mistaking observation for detachment or clarity for indifference. In such cases, the teaching may inadvertently lead to a sense of stagnation rather than transformation. In the end, the impression that Jiddu's teachings are intellectual and impractical arises from their very nature. They offer no scaffolding, no gradual progression, and no clear instructions. Instead, they point directly to a form of awareness that must be discovered without guidance.